Yesterday we saw that the Holy Spirit has power. Okay, what does the Holy Spirit do with that power? What kind of things happen when the Holy Spirit shows up and shows that power? So that's what we're looking at today. We're looking at what does the Holy Spirit do? What is his job? What is his role? And that brings us to one of my favorite passages. It's John chapter 14. We're going to be in verses 15 through 31. We may skip a little bit of it. Actually, we probably won't skip any of it because it's got so much meat in there. In John 14:15, it says, "If you love me, you will keep my commandments." This is Jesus talking. "And I will ask the Father, and he will give you another helper to be with you forever." Let's stop right here. Okay, so we're going to be given this helper. Yesterday, we saw what happened at Pentecost. That helper came, and prophecy, visions, dreams, natural disasters that are not quite natural disasters, they're bigger than that. The power of salvation, being filled with the Holy Spirit, speaking in tongues, that's what this helper does. This helper empowers us to enact the will of God. And then verse 17, "Even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it neither sees him nor knows him." Okay, so he's the Spirit of truth. That means that there's always truth where the Holy Spirit is concerned, but the world is not going to accept that truth. Immediately, I'm thinking of what's happening in the news. It just jumps straight into my mind. That wasn't even my notes. That the world does not recognize who the Holy Spirit is. And that's part of our job as followers of Jesus Christ, to point out who God is. We know him. It says you know him, for he dwells with you and will be in you. Now keep in mind, Jesus has not gone to the cross yet. He's not died, risen from the dead. Pentecost has not happened yet. He's saying he will eventually be in you. He's telling the disciples and the people listening to him talking here that this is coming. And then verse 18, it says, "I will not leave you as orphans. I will come to you. Yet a little while, and the world will see me no more, but you will see me. Because I live, you will also live." So what he's saying is, when I ascend, it's not like, hey, peace out, I'm done, I'm not involved anymore, I'm completely gone. No, he's sending us the Holy Spirit. "In that day, you will know that I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you." He's saying you're going to be a part of this family. "Whoever has my commandments and keeps them, he it is who loves me. And he who loves me will be loved by my Father, and I will love him and manifest myself to him." Judas, not Iscariot, said to him, "Lord, how is it that you will manifest yourself to us and not to the world?" Jesus answered, "If anyone loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our home with him." He's talking about the Trinity here. "Whoever does not love me does not keep my commands. But the word that you hear is not mine, but the Father's who sent me." Then he gets back into some more instruction about the Holy Spirit. "These things I have spoken to you while I am still with you. But the Helper," once again, the Holy Spirit is called a helper. "The Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send," he's sent by the Father in my name. So he's sent by the Father in Jesus's name. And what's he going to do when he gets sent to help? "He will teach you all things and bring to your remembrance all that I have said to you." He's going to teach you what you need to know. He's going to bring things to your mind when you need to know them. "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. Not as the world gives, but I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled. Never let them be afraid." Keep in mind, yesterday we looked at Timothy, and it said that it's not a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, love, and self-control. You heard me say, "I am going away, and I will come to you. If you loved me, you would have rejoiced, because I am going to the Father, and the Father is greater than I. And now I have told you before it takes place, so that when it does take place, you may believe. I will no longer talk much with you, for the ruler of this world is coming. He has no claim on me. But I do as the Father has commanded me, so that the world may know that I love the Father." And then he says, "Rise, let us go from here." This is Jesus flat out telling them the Holy Spirit's coming. And when the Holy Spirit comes, we're going to be empowered. We're going to have those thoughts that pass through our head, and we know that they're not our thoughts. We know that they're coming from the Holy Spirit and that open communication. Then we also have 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 3 through 11, and where it talks about the spiritual gifts. And I'm not going to list the spiritual gifts. We'll look at that at a later date. But what I want to look at now is that it's the Holy Spirit that provides those gifts. In verse 3, it says, "Therefore, I want you to understand that no one speaking in the Spirit of God ever says Jesus is accursed, and no one can say Jesus is Lord except in the Holy Spirit." He's talking about that heart condition. He is saying that you cannot truly proclaim Jesus is Lord unless you are in the Holy Spirit. And then he says, now there are varieties of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are varieties of service, but the same Lord. It is all the same God. It is all the same Trinity. It is all the same Holy Spirit. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep walking the walk.